We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hello everyone, welcome to video lecture of electrolytic process from the subject of utilization of electrical energy and traction, that means UWT. Myself, Mr. Tejas. We saw that the content of this video lecture: first one introduction, second one principle of electrolysis, third one Faraday's law of electrolysis, fourth one terms connected with the electrolytic process. First we saw the introduction. The first we know about that what is electrolytic process. The first we define the electrolytic process. The fact that electric energy can produce chemical changes and the process based on it called the electrolytic process. That means whenever any electricity pass through any types of chemical, at that time so many changes are occur in that chemical, this type of process is called as a electrolytic process. These electrolytic process are widely used for the extraction of pure metal from their ores such as aluminum, zinc, copper, magnesium, sodium. Manufacturing of various chemicals such as caustic soda, potassium permanganate, hydrogen, oxygen, chlorine, etc. Next, third application, electrodeposition of the metal, including electroplating, electrotyping, electroforming, building up worn out parts in metallurgical, chemical and other industries. These are all the application of electrolytic process. These all application we show in detail in next PPT. We understand what is the principle of electrolytic process. As discussed in the definition of electrolyte, whenever any electrolyte gas dissolved in water, its molecules split into cations and anions moving freely in the electrolytic process. Cations, that means positive ion, and anions, that means negative ions. Now two metal rods are immersed in the solution and electrical potential difference applied between the rods externally, preferably by the battery. This is a one type of DC battery. Note that in electrolytic process, whenever electrolytic process happen, we require only DC power supply. These partially impulse rods are technically referred as a electrode. One is positive and one is negative. The electrode connected with the negative terminal of the battery is known as a cathode, and electrode connected with the positive terminal of the battery is known as a anode. The freely moving positively charged cations are attracted by the cathode and negatively charged anions are attracted by the anode. The electrolytic principle. Okay. The first of all, anode and cathode we saw in the figure. Positive terminal of battery is connected with the electrode with the rods is known as a anode, and negative terminal of the battery connected with the rod is known as a cathode. Okay. Now, in cathode, the positive cations take an electron from the negative cathode, and in anode, negative ions gives electron to the positive anode. We know that the positive ion attracted towards the negative terminal. That means here positive ion are copper Cu plus is attracted towards the anode terminal, and SO4 minus are the negative ions, therefore is attracted towards the anode. That means current continues to circulate around the closed loop created by the battery electrolytes and electrodes. Here electrolyte is CuSO4. This is the most basic principle of electrolysis. Whenever copper sulfate is added to water, it gets dissolved in the water. As the CuSO4 is in electrolyte, it splits into Cu++, that means positive ions, that means cations, and SO4 minus anions are and move freely in the solution. Now, if two copper electrodes are immersed in the solution, the Cu++ ion will be attracted towards the cathode. On reaching on the cathode, each Cu plus ion will take electrons from it and it become a neutral copper ion. Cu++ ions are attracted towards the now. Similarly, SO4, that means negative ions, will attracted by the anode. At that time, SO4 ions give that negative ions to the cathode. The process described above is known as the electrolysis process. In the above process, after taking an electron, the neutral copper atoms get deposited on the cathode. At the same time, SO4 reacts with the copper anode and become CuSO4, that means copper sulfate, but in water it cannot exist as single molecules. Instead of CuSO4 will split in the Cu++ and SO4 minus and dissolves in a water. So it can be concluded that during electrolytic process of copper sulfate with copper electrode, copper is deposited on the cathode and the same amount of copper is removed from the anode. Anode, that means the positive electrode, and cathode is a negative electrode. This is the principle of electrolytic process. Most IMP and most IMP Faraday's law of electrolysis. Faraday's here in this PPT we include two Faraday's law, first and second law. First we saw the Faraday's first law of electrolysis. It states that the chemical deposition due to flow of current through an electrolyte is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through it. Okay, so mathematically it's described as mass of chemical deposition small m is directly proportional to quantity of electricity capital Q. Therefore, m is equal to Q, where Q is equal to IT. So, m is equal to Z into IT, where Z is a proportional constant and I is the current pass through the current pass in the process, and T time required for the current I flow through the electrolyte. This is the first principle of Faraday's law. M is directly proportional to Q. Next, Faraday's second law of electrolysis. It states that when the same quantity of electricity is passed through a several electrolytes, the masses of the substance deposits are proportional to their respective chemical equivalents or equivalent weights. Okay, so in this second law, new terms is a chemical equivalent or equivalent weight. We saw that here. Chemical equivalent or equivalent weight is defined as the chemical equivalent or equivalent weight of substance can be determined by Faraday's law of electrolysis and is defined as the weight of substance which will combine with or displace unit weight of hydrogen. We know that the chemical equivalent of hydrogen is unity. Since the valency of substance is equal to the number of hydrogen atoms which it can be replaced or with which it can be combined, the chemical equivalent of substance therefore may be defined as the ratio of its atomic weight to its valency. The chemical equivalent defined as the atomic weight divided by its valency. Okay, this is known as a chemical equivalent or equivalent. Now, terms connected with the electrolytic process. First one, current efficiency. Due to impurities which cause secondary reaction, the quantity of substance liberated in slightly less than that they calculate from the Faraday's law. This is taken into account by applying the factor called the current efficiency. The current efficiency is defined as the ratio of the actual quantity to the theoretical quantity as calculated from the Faraday's law. We know that the actual quantity or theoretical quantity always are differ somewhat, that means plus or minus tolerance occur. So the current efficiency is defined as the actual quantity of substance liberated or deposited to the theoretical quantity liberated or deposited. This ratio is known as the current efficiency. We know that if we supply 230 volt, we not exactly get the 230 volt. We got 228 or 229 voltage. So this is a difference occur. So similarly, in electrolytic process, this type of actual quantity and theoretical quantity difference occur. So this ratio is known as a current efficiency. Next, voltage. We know that the voltage is one type of potential difference. Whenever the potential difference occur, the current flow from the higher potential to lower potential. So the voltage that is essentially required to pass the current through an electrolytic cell is equal to sum of voltage drop in resistance of electrolyte and the voltage drop at the electrodes. The normal voltage range required to pass current through the most electric lights is a 1 to 2 volt. Where not there in electrolytic process, always we require DC voltage, low voltage DC voltage and a high current required. Okay. Now next, energy efficiency. Owing to secondary reaction, the voltage actually required for the deposits or liberation of matter is higher than the theoretical value, which increase the actual energy required. The ratio of theoretical energy required to actual energy required for deposit of a given quantity of a metal is known as energy efficiency. So that the energy efficiency is defined as the theoretical energy required divided by actual energy required.